And that was Gratitude, performed by the Description Art Ensemble, with my special guest, the leader and founder of the Description Art Ensemble, Kenneth "Nick" Green. Nick, why don't you give us the personnel on that song?
On that particular cut, we had William Townley playing trombone, Skeeter C.R. Shelton playing the tenor saxophone, Michael Carey was playing the flute, and DuShon Mosely was playing the drums. DuShon and I, of course, we went on from the Nick's jazz band to form the Green Mosley Complex. We still gig from time to time under that name.
The Green Mosley Complex.
That's right.
Very interesting. Speaking of interesting, we're getting ready to view another clip, and this clip is of a song entitled Links, such as links in a chain, like you and I are links in a chain of 1 million other brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
Tell me, what inspired you to come up with a title for a tune like this?
Well, Frank, it wasn't easy, but I think the same inspiration that brought the tune is what brought the name. And again, I say it is purely spiritual. It's purely given of the Most High. But Links is a song that is just as you so vividly described, and I think that is why you and I can make such great music when we play together. It's because you're on the same level. And truly, when we play Links, if Links is correct, then the whole concert, the whole evening is correct, because we have truly linked up not only with one another as far as musicians, but we've linked up with our audience as well. And I don't have to tell you that it's a two-way street. As for a performer to perform, he can't not perform at his ultimate without having an audience who is at least energized by the performance, so that the effect can be reciprocal.
Absolutely, because it's a symbiotic relationship between the performer and his audience.
That's correct.
So, without further ado, let's take a look at this wonderful performance by the Description Art Ensemble and a song entitled Links.
Thank you.
And that was the song entitled Links. Neek, give us a rundown on the personnel on this particular version of the tune and where it was recorded and when.
Well, it was performed in 93, I believe, at the African Heritage Museum, located on Grand River on 6th Mile in Detroit. And the personnel was, again, besides myself, DuShon Mosely playing drums, C.R. Shelton playing tenor, Michael playing flute, and our bassist was also from Chicago. His name was Rollo Radford. He's famed for playing with the Sunrise Orchestra. The dancer was Lisa McCall. She was a stand-in for our regular dancer, who was Eleanor Kay. And I think Farouk Zebe also was on that set.
Tell us more about some of the other personnel, some of the other members of Description, other people that have worked with the group from its inception to the current version of the group.
Well, yeah, Description's been in existence since '89, so in that time we've had quite a few people. Some of the members included Donald Washington, who's now in Minneapolis, James Carter, who's pretty famed right now, Atiba King, Leonard King, of course those King brothers, and some other people we had was Eleanor Kay, April Green. Those are two dancers. We had Che Green, my son, who also played drums with us. Let's see, whom else? So host Jerome Yancey, Harrison Bankhead, bass player out of Chicago. Yosef Ben, also another bass player in Chicago. We've also had, it's a lot of people. I need to check my notes to try to remember all these names. But one person in particular, we had Valina Brewer, who was a vocalist with us. But when I think of vocalists, I think on our all-time top vocalist is a gentleman by the name of Francisco Garcia. and I know you played the bass and drums as well. And those were some of our high points, as I can recall. Also would like to mention, too, that Alan Barnes played with us, too.
Okay. Well, speaking of high points, it was really an extremely high point for me to become involved with the group Description. I had played space music some years earlier in the late 60s, early 70s, when the whole atmosphere was trading knowledge freely, where one person could communicate with another person on a spiritual or at the very least an astral level, and be accepted for what that individual was. And it's very gratifying to know that at this point in time that the music not only still exists, but those who perpetuate the music, such as yourself, myself, Leonard, Atiba, William Townley, Skeet, and others, are still very active in attempting to get this message across. I'd like to say that it's been my pleasure to be your host for this program, as presented by the Original Historic Music Society of Detroit, featuring the music of the Description Art Ensemble with our special guest, Mr. Kenneth Green. Our plans are to bring to you a live concert featuring the ensemble sometime in the spring, so keep your eyes open for us, and always remember that Description encompasses all forms of positive astral music, and for that we are very grateful to the Description Art Ensemble, and specifically Mr. Kenneth Green. Thank you so much, brother.
Thank you, Frank. It's been a pleasure.